All right, hello everyone. Here we are, hole number 6. And I'm setting up for, just going to reset my bag. I am going to go power 4 ball. I think the extra range here will make what I'm going to try to do just a little bit easier to do. What we're going to try to do here is go to the right. I definitely recommend trying this. But if you don't really think you have the arsenal to do so, you'll have to play out to the left. And if you need to see that drive, you can check out my other guide, as I already did do that way. I went to the left here. We're going to get a little bit more aggressive and try to get this up a little bit more towards min club, if at all possible. We can get into this second fairway here, right fairway, and get ourselves towards min club thorn. It's going to make it just that much easier to actually put in if we can get half as close. So there you can see what happened to that one. Now, one thing to consider when I move down off of this cliff, like I'm going to have to, it's going to kind of change the way that my ball runs out. It's not going to run out quite as hard. I'm going to pretty much max curl it. What that's going to allow me to do is land, kind of keep this up on high ground, which is what I want to do. The higher I keep it, as I mentioned, and not going down into those rocks too much, the longer that it's going to land. And I mean longer, like towards the north direction, which is ideally what you want to do. So I did go roughly 10-ish rings here, which is about 1 per ring. And why the overplay? It's because of, you can see it barely creeps over. The biggest reason for the overplay is you can see how downhill that shot is. It's probably in the neighborhood of one of the most downhill approaches that you could have. So if I was using, the notebook here, it would probably tell me to go, significantly less rings, 7 rings. So, somewhere in the neighborhood of plus 30, I would imagine, for this elevation. Plus the fact that it's just a little bit angled wind as well. But that's more or less going to put you in the ballpark. You can see how we still barely creep onto the fairway. So very tricky to get this drive. I do kind of favor maybe having an epoch 7 here, because if you can get it easily into this fairway, I think you do have a distinct advantage. Now I'm talking about if you get it well up here, not so much of how I just pulled this one off. But what I'm going to try to do is just a little bit more aggressive, which, has the possibility of putting you in the sand. But, with some practice and making sure that you get behind the hole, this could be relatively easier to dial in. Thinking in this situation, somewhere close to 2 per ring. So I'm going to go 5.5 rings here. Perfect ball. And it looks like it is shooting down. But, for the first try at that pitch, not the end of the world. I just wanted to kind of get the bearings as to what it needed there. You can see I was just short of plus yardage. So I wasn't even really that close to max club. It was more of, maybe 75 to 80%, but I was still using almost close to the max number. I do want to get just a little bit aggressive there to give it the chance. However, with a couple more rehearsals, you can get just a little bit more dialed and try to keep it from rolling down that hill. If you do roll down the hill, it's going to come down to perfect ball. You can see how I'm just kind of keeping the ball guide in the hill. Keep in mind that this is very, very uphill. So as uphill as it is, it's not going to deflect much for the wind. I did miss it there. I'm going to just go ahead and see if I can just forfeit out real quick without getting that ball to stop, ideally. And we're going to still get the bogey, hopefully. So good luck with that hole, guys, and I'll catch you guys on the next.